Let's go,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another DroPodcast episode number 30, and we've got some fabulous guests today. Welcome to ArsheeTV, Nikki101, Dim Giant, and Moukass. Well, guys, can you maybe introduce yourself, maybe? Mr. Moukass, who are you, and what do you do for Planetside?
Hey man, I'm Planetside 2 gamer since 2012. I'm Moroccan, from Marrakesh. I'm a photographer, I have a video production company. And I love to make epic content. I'm maybe made 800 videos now. I lost count. And voila. I love Planetside 2 to death. Honestly, it brought me so much cool moments. I made friends there. There is a whole history. I almost forget the old games now. I used to play Team Fortress 2, Battlefield, all the old things. I forgot about these games. Do they even exist? Voila. That's Moukass for the epicness.
And Mr. Dim Giant, who are you?
And I'm playing right now. I'm on Cobalt, by the way.
And he's playing right now.
I'm on Cobalt, by the way. There's a freaking group of galaxies, guys. There's 7 galaxies flying together. It's amazing.
The ultimate multitasker over here.
I mean, come on.
I mean, this is the time to play right now. But before we actually go further with the whole introduction, I've been seeing that we guys are reaching like 6,000 players right now for Planetside. Do you think we can actually keep that momentum or grow it even, or is it something temporarily, basically?
So I think as long as some of the bigger bugs get fixed and the outfit update actually goes into effect the way it is, now that there's an emphasis on outfit performance and there's an incentive for the outfits to exist beyond mere sociality, I think that'll keep players retained because you'll be encouraged to form your own groups of friends. And that's been something that hasn't really been a part of Planetside since the beginning. So I think you'll see the retention rates go way higher than they were before, where a lot of single players would come in, see all these clicks, and get out after they'd had their 2 weeks of fun. Like, what else are they going to do beyond that?
I've got nothing to add to that. Mr. Dim Giant, can you tell a bit about yourself right now?
Hi, I am Dim Giant. I'm the leader of the army of the Dim Giant on Connery. I am one of the project leads for something called the Planetside Project. It's a group of collaborators and artists trying to make advertising for Planetside, especially as it's on the rise right now. And it's going pretty good. We've raised $2,000 in revenue to...
$2,000? Wow.
Yeah. I was expecting about $300, but... people really care about Planetside, and we have so many artists and musicians who are professionals. We had a lot more resources to work with than I thought, and they really threw it all in when we started making projects together.
And it's all community money, basically.
Amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything's community-based. I actually have to make an LLC for it right now because the funds can't be used until it's associated with a business. So there's going to be a Planetside Project LLC in the future.
Wow. Nice. Going professional.
Very professional. Very professional.
Right.
Smart.
Nico101 then? Or tell a bit about yourself.
So I'm a YouTuber. I've been having a break for about 4 months now, and Twitch stream as well. I've been playing since beta, so 2012, and made around 400 videos. Casted Community Smash like 5 or 6 times, and various other events. So just trying to keep on with this hype train and trying to get this when this big update comes. See if we can make Planetside great again, I suppose. But we'll see what happens.
Okay, thank you. And our latest, freshest addition to the content creators in Planetside, Mr. ArsheeTV, welcome. What about you?
How you doing, buddy? So I just started, and I wanted everybody to know that we're here for you guys, and so I tried to think of ways to basically support the community as fast as we can for the small amount of time I've got here, and so I've seen some beautiful results. A lot of people are enjoying Planetside 2 at a new height, and it's thanks to you guys as content creators for making it all happen for us. So I'm really
Didn't you get
honored to
something
be
like
here.
112 viewers on your stream recently?
It was a combination effect. I don't think it was a easy thing to get, because it's like when you're sitting there after developing a stream, there's 3,000 people there. They're just going to flood all the other channels. So it was really
Right.
cool to see that spike. But it's an honor to be able to have all these individuals come over and just be positive. And so that's something that I'm just trying to spread as much as I can. But at the same time, Faber one, you guys have to give it up to him, man. Every time he dresses to impress, and I get so excited when I see that. I mean, well done, Faber, man. Look at that smile. That's what I'm talking about. And that's what I'm trying to say. Very good, man. Hey, it's a good pleasure to be here, Faber, and I can't wait to see what else we can do here for you.
But guys, by the way, watching right now, there will be an after party at ArsheeTV's channel. We will rate him. So if you are interested in all the topics, you can ask questions right now, !question, and we'll try to answer it. But if you want to participate, I think you can come to Arshee's Discord later on. Is that true?
Right. Yeah, so basically, I'm going to open it up to all outfit leaders and representatives. So if you guys are currently sitting here wondering how you guys can get your voice in, it's been very successful now. I haven't had anyone ruin my brand by coming in and being toxic. And so I'm looking forward to having your voice be heard, as long as we maintain family-friendly TOS rules for Discord, Twitch, and YouTube. And I think if we create a space for all content creators to have a chance to have developers to come on your show, we would actually have the most transparency you'll ever have in Planetside 2 in 7 years. And it requires your effort, guys. So thank you, guys, for making this happen for your game, for your community, and for the content creators.
Okay. Well, we've got one of the first topics today. And this is, again, we're really talking about a lot of content creation right now and what's happening to the game and how is RPG going to support it as well. And our first topic today is RPG collaborating with content creators. And I don't know if you guys have you guys seen the latest video, sort of like a guide on the new play tutorial, basically. I lost his name actually, but if you start the launcher right now, there's a complete new guide actually available.
No, I haven't noticed that.
From Steam?
No, I think if you launch the game, like if you go, what is it called? The Planetside 2 game, basically. You'll get this green screen, basically, and then you see the video you can click on.
I'm doing that right now. Give me 1 second.
No gigs, actually, yeah.
Planetside 2 test server update 14th. No.
The launcher, yes. So basically, somebody somebody from the community made a guide, basically, and right now, Planetside 2 is using that to guide new players in the game as well.
Oh, you're right. I can click on it and there's a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Wow. That is
And they've
so
been making
cool.
a much more concerted effort about using player-made content with this new update coming up than they have before.
So
This is very cool.
there is so much content available by the community to help players, teach players, but this is really the first time they are using it by RPG. Like, this is official content pushed forward, basically, now.
Honestly, it's something they should have done since a long time. There is much more epic content they should use that could go viral, in my opinion. Like the hyperlapses, the time lapse, like a moving time lapse, or like insane kill streak of great players. They could post them. They have a YouTube channel with like 200k subscribers. And they almost don't exploit it. They could do like highlights, top 10. A long time ago, Orbital Gaming was doing top community top 10s or something like that. There is a lot they could do with the community content, and it's good that they start doing it. Like I'm glad, but I still think it's not enough.
Moukass, you've been creating those cinematics, basically. Do you think there's also something that would fit on their YouTube channel? Would you be okay with that, or?
Yeah, of course. This is made to promote the game. But I'm not asking them to do anything special. Like I'm doing it by myself. It's been an experience for me too. But not just my content. There is a lot of montages that they could share, and they're not doing it. They're not recognizing these content creators. They could create like they could name. Imagine some bases named after content creators, like the Real Tech Plant. Something weird like Arshee Amp Station or something like that.
Amp Station.
That makes sense. Like the hype.
Well, they kind of started doing that.
Just put in some built-in advertising into the game itself.
The Moukass pump action shotgun, I want it, or something like that.
In the center of Connery and Indar, I'd put Team
Like
Giant.
they should try to lure in some
No,
content
God
creators.
forbid.
Do you guys know Affleck? Affleck? I don't know how to pronounce it.
I did say hi to him on Twitter, but I don't know him personally.
Yeah, he's like he streams the game. He's really good. He plays NC for a long time, and he has like 200,000 kills with the. I gotta say it right. Anchor, I think, and he got his own anchor in game right now. So
Wow.
they started
that's one
doing
stream.
some things with like streamers and content creators like us, but it's starting slowly to be more and more and more. And I think they should keep on doing this.
Yeah, it is funny. Like the commissioner, like the underboss with the IA or something.
Oh yeah, the Derringer one. Yeah, exactly.
Like these content creators are making them money. Like we're bringing players to their game. They should at least do something back. I take my example. I've been trying to get a membership for years. I cannot get a membership. Like fuck you. We don't want your money. Like I think it's weird. Honestly, I want a membership. I cannot get a membership.
Have you tried the Steam wallet maybe?
I'm grinding 10,000 cert right now on Emerald to get the ASP system.
So Shangus has been asking, what can we as members of the community who may not have as big a voice do to help build the membership in the game? Shangus actually, he's asking a bit rhetorically because I've actually already, I've hired Shangus tentatively to make one of the orientation videos for the Planetside project. So that's one of the resources you can be involved with if you want to do like collaborative efforts. But word of mouth is always the best traditional way to get something out there. If you have a friend or somebody you want to play with, bring them on in, because like now is a really good time to bring friends into the game. It's really stable, exciting stuff coming this way. So I think that would be the easiest thing for most members.
Yeah, word of mouth.
But don't you guys think that in-game the community member should be doing something? I think like outfit leading or commanding.
Leader,
I think that's the most important step, because outside the game, of course, you can tell your friends, but if the game is not fun, if there is no real community in-game, I think that's the first step. We need to create more.
I think one of the best ways to help grow this community is if you like a video or you like a stream, is to make sure you follow that person. You don't necessarily have to share their content, but just leaving a comment and a like on a YouTube video is enough to get that video more and more traction. And if 100 people do that on one video, that's going to make things like incredibly different for that video, and then it's going to give it more and more traction, which then puts it higher in the algorithm on YouTube. And then in turn, then you have new potential players which come to YouTube to then see that video, and then they then come to the game and find out, actually this looks quite cool, I'm going to check this out, and then they tell their friends, and it's just a knock-on effect. So following, subscribing, commenting and liking, it's free, doesn't cost you anything, and it's the best way to get the Planetside name out there. So even if you don't necessarily like to watch someone, it's just help supporting that channel. If you're too busy to even get in there on and watch their streams or their videos, just help and support them with that subscribe or follow is the best way to do it more than anything. So yeah.
Totally agree on this. Actually, I can give the example of a video I did recently. It was called the Safe Planetside, and because it got a lot of engagement, it started to being recommended to a lot of people. And many people told me in the comments that they tried the game because of this video, even if it wasn't made for this purpose at the beginning. So yeah, just a comment and like some kind of engagement on a video can make a difference if it's done at scale. Totally agree with this.
Have you guys left a review on Steam for Planetside 2?
Yeah, this too.
Because have you guys played Planetside Arena by any chance?
Oh my god! Yes.
I'm gonna cut you off right here because it sounds like you don't like it. I'm gonna say
I give it a try.
Please, you want to go ahead? Moukass, go ahead.
Actually, the game looked nice. The map looked beautiful. Some of the models looked nice, etc. Maybe it would have been fun with more players, but the few times I played, there was only a few, like less than 80, so it wasn't enjoyable. It was mostly running around. So maybe it would have been the same thing with Planetside 2. If I had tried Planetside 2 and there was only 80 players in the game, I would have not liked it as I like it now. So I'm not sure. Like I don't know what to
That
say
makes
about.
sense. You guys got a taste of what Planetside 2 can offer, and then you guys got into a game that wasn't the same level of effect. So I think you guys are. I'm not going to deny you your claim. I know the history behind it, but we're coming in biasly. So I'm going to say I came in as an unbiased individual who came from 5 years ago, played Planetside Arena as the first game as my stream. I met the community there that were super freaking excited for the game that had no clue about Planetside 2. It was a lot of fun working the 12-man squad at the highest rate I can ever believe. Like, I am literally hyperventilating just to get my team to go on top of a rock before we get shut down by a Vanguard. One freaking tank is that powerful. And it was just insane when we got the tank, and it was like all 12 of us hugging that vehicle the entire time, like just like sucking on it, like, no, don't leave. And it was like the insanity in the game was quick. I know it's Battle Royale, not the favorite for Planetside 2. It is a complete utter disgust for you guys. I understand the history again. H1Z1 was created, Planetside Arena was created, and I can see why you guys in Planetside 2 destroyed it with your negative review comments. But I'm not going to take more of the time. But I want to go back to the question earlier. That was the new player guide for Planetside 2 Basics. That is currently on the main page for Planetside 2. That is something that is unbelievably smart on the developer side. I do want to talk to them about using their voice to say what they will showcase and what content they need to showcase, because that is something that I haven't heard from them yet from my position, because I haven't gotten any personal invites, any personal tells or messages from developers. And if they gave content creators who are very passionate, who have done the due diligence for content creators, for Planetside, I think they need to know what kind of video they need to make to be front page, because you just can't get a front page on your video if you just make any content about Planetside 2, because the developers have their model of what's going to make them money, and then also our content creators are going to do the things we like to do. So it's like we have a disconnect. There's no communication between that, in my eyes, at the current level I'm at. So Faberon, I'm going to ask that question to you. Have you been told what kind of videos to be making so you can be front page? Or is this something new to you as well?
No. But I also think, like, from a content creator's perspective, you should not make videos because that is going to make front page. I think you should make something that you enjoy to make and that you think you can also excel at.
Completely.
Okay. So my next question would be to understand that if they say front page equals new player content, that would help brand the product right now for new player development. I'm acting as a devil's advocate to you guys. That means I'm going to be in the opposite seat from you. All of you guys are passionate content creators, so am I. But I'm now going to act like I'm a businessman, and so that way we can have that conversation. So, Faber One, I want to ask you another question: is if you owned a business and you know that the new player experience is total, and you know that you don't have the ability and the resources to develop a new player experience, but content creators can put in that effort to give you something beautiful, to give new player retention, so that way their game exceeds. How would you like that information delivered to you, so that way you can actually see why they're getting the front page without feeling hurt that somebody else that is supposed to be you, or somebody else that's supposed to be somebody else that you know as a content creator should have been front page because he's been here for longer than everyone else, like 6 years to 10 years?
So you basically want to know, what does the company need from content creators to actually help the game? That's right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Right. And how can they express that emotion to you without being offended that they had to pick 1 out of 10 of us, or 100 of us, or 1,000 of us?
I think that we've got a good first step right now. I don't know if it's been public yet, but there is a Discord right now with a lot of content creators assembled. And if you are an aspiring content creator or something you think you deserve also to be in there, let us know. Send me a DM on Discord or whatever. But the moment actually when we get community managers like Justin inside, or maybe developer as well like Rel or Kaoto, I think when they start more communication with us, that will be the first good step, because then we should know what kind of things they want to do for the game and what they want in return from us, the creators, basically. That is what I think, but I think Nico also has an opinion on this. Or not.
So the thing for me, and obviously I've made quite a few videos now over the past 5 years, and the biggest videos that ever got the most views are two videos. One is why is Planetside 2 dying, and the other why is it now the time to play Planetside 2? And everything in between is like non-existent. It either has 10,000 views or 20,000 views or whatever. But those are the two videos which pull the most views out of every piece of content. So it's really hard to say like this is what the community wants to watch, or this is what you should do to make get noticed by the developers or help the game. There is no right or wrong answer. I think the best thing is you just need to be at the right time, at the right moment, and made that video on the right topic to be able to get a load of views or help at that right time. So obviously views in general have been pretty bad up until this recent update. So obviously a lot of people left the game because they didn't agree with how things were going. So realistically, the best thing is if you have an idea and you think it's a good one, then make a video for it. Now, with regards to what Faye was saying about the Discord thing, if you have an idea on a video and you want help with it, the Discord that we've all set up is there for us to help you make that content. So if you think, I've got a really good idea, but I'm not sure how to do this, that Discord, if you've made one video, if you've made no videos, or you've made 100 videos, it's there for us who've made 400, 500, 600 videos to be able to help you and advise you and be able to get that content where it needs to be. Because there is 1,000,001 ideas, and there's probably 1,000,001 videos out there which haven't already, have been made and haven't been on that topic. So, if you think that you've got what it takes to be able to do something like that, we can help you and try and promote the game a little bit more. And the same as also if you have an idea and you're not capable of making the video, you can pass that idea on to someone who is capable of making that video. So, but like I say, there's no right or wrong way of going forward with content creating. It's just what feels right for you. Don't ever try and make content just because you want lots of money or lots of views, because that is the worst thing you can do. Always make content that you feel is going to be good or enjoyed by others. That's the best thing. Or yourself.
Amen.
Do.
I have one thing I want to add to that. You're 100% right as far as when your passion is delivered into your content, it is enjoyable to watch. It is something that cannot be faked. You cannot go and make content just because you know that's what the market needs. But I do believe a balance of the two is very important, because a lot of content creators are going to feel, there's a word for this, discouraged when they make a content that is out of context in the current market. You will be contextually important in 6 months from now. That means your content you created that you love won't be seen right now, because everyone wants to eat hamburgers right now. Everyone wants to eat strawberry shortcakes, and you just made hamburgers that will be interesting in 6 months from now. And so the reason why I'm saying that is so that way, please do what exactly Nico said, and you should understand that's what the market does. It keeps moving and flowing, and light assault videos will be the ideal in like 3 months from now when the update hits for light assaults. And now your video is so damn important. And you'll see that happening in the trend and all market designing. So if you can just think of a bubble diagram and create that design for yourself, saying, what do I want? What do my viewers want? And then you identify the market and saying, I don't want to do 90% of this, but I want to do these two. And you want to do your specific video, and you want to do your other videos, but those two in the middle are also part of the things you want. Identify those two and make those contents first. That way the rest of your product gets viewed. And that's the market design of current YouTube and Twitch. And I've done a ton of research for a year, guys. And there's a lot of things I don't want to do, and I'm not doing them. I'm just not interested in that. So I had to spend a lot of time with my COO and all the other people that sit down with me, and we had to look over the entire diagrams. Like, Arshee, you want to do this? I'm like, no, God, no. I will never be interested in that. So yeah, I see what you're saying, Nico. Again, we're still talks about the other content creating design. I'm going to help you guys understand what the current market needs, and you guys pick your videos and make it based off of that. If you don't want to, keep doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, there's thousands of ideas right now that people want to see. And so identifying that's why your videos are not getting hit right now. You just literally said two strong market ideas. Is Planetside 2 relevant in this Planetside 2 back? That's literally everybody wants to know right now. They all want to know if it's back, and that's why your video is getting a ton of views.
Yeah, but it
I
does.
think
It's
it
been
is.
like that for over the past 5 years. Anyone makes that topic, it gets hits, regardless of whether it's
Yes.
it's yeah.
Is
it's
it worth to play
relevant or
Planetside in
not.
2020? 1K hit. One of yeah, that doesn't matter. I do see a question from Sunny King regard towards
Oh.
Dim Giants.
Business guru.
Yes.
This is about the project you started, the Planetside project, and you deliberately
Right.
don't work with the Planetside team. Is that a specific reason
Correct.
why you don't do that?
Yeah, so I was actually just writing in chat earlier that one of the reasons, there's a few reasons, but the primary one is so that there's no liability. As long as I'm completely separate and we have pretty separate relationships, we don't have to worry about what happens with each other's respective dynamics. And with liability gone, all we can do is strengthen each other and make each other's lives easier. And so that's the primary reason for my separation. And yeah. While we're on that subject, though, I also want to add one of the exciting things about the project right now is that since we have an operating budget that's 4 times what I anticipated we would have to work with for the first quarter, we can actually support smaller channels that have a harder time getting traction. Like Nico, Moukass, Faber, and I, even to a smaller extent, have had pretty good track records, and we've had a lot of experience over a long period of time, and we have a pretty solidly built-up audience. And people just breaking in will look at that and be like, how can I possibly get there? And so with what we have, we can actually use that revenue to enhance advertising, target specific audiences, and raise the roof of your viewership limits. And that's what the channel is supposed to be ultimately. Planetside Project is going to be a multimedia YouTube channel that acts a lot like the way Machinima used to, where we take as many high quality productions as we can from as many separate and diverse places and concentrate the viewership so that more of them get exposure to all these different people and their individual channels grow separately as well by their association. And if it works, it'll be pretty awesome. I think that would go a long way.
I want to share about what you said about the video that works well, that works the most. The 2 times that when the devs shared my videos, it was the trailers or videos that showcase really Zerg moments, the things that you see only in Planetside 2, where you see a huge amount of players interacting with each other. If you can make these kind of videos, I'm sure they're gonna work much better than average.
Moukass. Well done. Love this.
Just showcase the scale of the open. So this is unique in gaming, guys. This is still unique in gaming after 7 years. So keep showing it, like huge amount of players.
I do think that
What?
many people know about Planetside too, but they just see the game and don't think, how do I become a part of this big war, and how do I actually matter?
And that can be overwhelming for people. I think going back to one of your earlier questions about how to retain players, I still think that, not to beat a dead horse to death, but making the new player experience more palatable and enhancing, say, some tutorials with basic additions like what the Q key does would go a long ways towards making that a little less scary and intimidating for some of the shy people hopping into the game, being overwhelmed by all that they see and not knowing how to start or improve.
I do think
Although I have to say, some of that's being fixed by the devs taking advantage of the websites that are now producing those new player videos. And that's certainly going a long way towards helping in the short.
Also, to be fair, a lot of games can be quite hard and still are enjoyed by many people. I don't know if you guys played Escape from Tarkov, or many Battle Royale games are rather hard in the nature of the game because you die once and the game is over. Planetside is forgiving in some sense because you can easily respawn, but it does. The thing is, how do you respawn? Where are the fights? Those are the harder things to find. But as there are more players, there are more fights, and I think it's easier to, become a little part of that war. But okay. I do have another topic for right now. There was priority for new updates. So in a few days, we got the new update with Bastion Fleet Carriers for the Outfit Wars. What will be phase 2 for you guys? And I want to start with Moukass. What do you want to see in the next update?
The next update, beyond what's already been announced?
Yeah. What should be the main priority for the next update? Like new player experience or more outfit-related stuff?
Sorry, Can I pass? I haven't thought
Yeah, sure,
about
no
it.
problem. Maybe Arshee.
Actually, I thought about this since so many times. I'm still asking for the same things. Like, just make the job easier on squad leaders. I think it's one of the best way to retain players is to motivate people to squad lead. It should be really easy to squad lead, and maybe you should get some kind of rewards. I think the construction system. What I really want, honestly, is that they just reduce this freaking no construction zones that are huge, and make construction part of the map. Like you being able to build walls close to existing bases. This I think is going to shape the battlefield in some way, and it's going to make and it's going to increase the replayability of the maps.
Okay.
This and the 9 count of the squad members, please. I'm squad leading very often, and I still have a problem sometimes when I want to my group to do something. I don't know what amount of 9 they have. I have to ask them individually. So if they could just showcase this in the game, this would be great. Much easier for squad leaders. These are some of the things I would like in the next update.
Yeah, this
That's
quality
actually
experience.
that's not a bad idea, because if you can like incentivize leadership in a way that doesn't like break the normal game meta and over reward it to the point where people will take advantage, that would certainly go a long ways towards stabilizing the overall social structure of the experience, and that would make it a lot easier for new players. I agree.
Like, we all remember these epic squads when there's a freaking crazy leader with his crazy voice leading you to victory or to fail, but this is the kind of stories you remember years afterwards. This is when you have a funny leader that and you do something funny as a group. And this should be encouraged between players, I mean. So encourage squad leadership.
It's really the players making the content for this game. They make it fun.
Yeah.
Like
Some outfit leaders are rock stars. I don't know if you know Flutiman on Miller, Flutiman, Bad Karma. These guys, since they're leading platoons all the time, everyone knows their voice. They're screaming in prox chat. Like, this is the real content. Honestly, they're hilarious. Okay, I'm having so much kill streak. I'm killing people on Cobalt and talking to you guys. I swear, there's so much people to kill here.
You're killing and you're talking.
Yes,
How do you do
You're
it?
the only one that can
Six
do
kills.
that. You're unbelievable that you can actually pull that off while you're in a. Oh, I love you, Moukass.
Granite Valley Garrison, guys. Yeah, go on.
Faber,
Nico, do you have
wanna
other
pass
ideas
that
or
question over
Arshee?
to
Sure.
any of us?
Yeah, so
Yeah, Nico.
for me, like, this update is pretty epic. You know, don't get me wrong. Like, they've used the assets obviously from that other game. You know, that thing, and to be fair, I actually enjoyed Planetside Arena. I was quite disappointed that it flopped. I thought it was a good way. Planetside Arena was a good way to get casual players to learn the game before they came to the big game, Planetside 2. But yeah, obviously, water under the bridge. Like the update with the Bastion Fleet Carrier, bringing the assets in from Planetside Arena, you know, is making it so it's not wasted. But for me, the game is still Planetside 2. So all they've done is implement stuff into the game which can kill you. Like, there's more stuff which can kill you. There's more stuff to do which you can do to die. You know, it's just all about dying or killing at the end of the day, which is fine. But they've not addressed the real issues with Planetside. And I think this is the biggest problem. It's, yeah, outfits keep player retention. I get that. But if they removed a lot of the frustration in Planetside, they're going to keep players retained anyway, because they're going to enjoy to play the game. They're not going to get frustrated. The thing is, like, and I know it's a long-standing thing with me and infiltrators, but it's going to be frustrating for new players if they see a guy come out in front of them, just uncloak and pop them in the face with a bolt or whatever, or stab them in the back. That's frustrating. And how can you kill something you can't see? The same as a heavy assault. If you're shooting a heavy assault and you're an engineer, or light assault, which is like the default class when you start the game, all you're going to do is shoot a heavy assault, and they're just you're going to be dead, and they're just going to get up and run away and get the next kill. It's really hard to be able to push this new update when you've still got all the stuff that makes Planetside frustrating there. And I spoke to Rel in the past couple of weeks, and they're not going to address that because he said basically they're not going to address that because how can you do that? And I understand that, but if you don't deal with that problem somehow, or make things better for the new player, and for a lot of players, because there's a lot of salty vets that get mad playing the game as well, you're still going to get people that are going to leave. They're going to come back, they're going to play the game for a couple of weeks, they're going to get mad, and they're going to leave. And then they're just going to take a 2-month break and then come back and keep doing what they've been doing. You want the people to come, and you want them to enjoy the game and to play it and to keep playing it. You don't want them to have that massive break. And I know that the lifetime subs, that was like 8,000 sold or whatever, so that's somewhat lost revenue in some sense. But that you need to be able to get the new players in to be able to pay for the subscriptions to be able to keep things going and expand the game as well. So, like, for me, they need to look at how they're going to make things fairer and more enjoyable as a game in the whole, rather than just keep adding stuff to the game, keep flooding it with new content, which is great, but it doesn't, assess the real reason in Planetside and deal with the core issues in the game. So, for me, that's the thing.
And I got a question for Arshee, actually, because Arshee is a returning player coming back to the game. Do you see all those frustration in the game as well, or?
Oh yeah, I started the game at the very beginning, and I'm gonna name drop some people. I apologize if I didn't get a chance to see your content. It's just what the algorithm of YouTube gave me, and I started playing the game as just to have fun, and I literally died every time. Like, there was so much death on my part. Like, I've played the game 5 years ago for 3 years, but like the mechanics and all this new stuff happening was so quick that, like, I would run in the wall. I'm like, here we go, guys, we're gonna start doing this live on stream. I'm trying so hard, and then I'm like, what was that? And then I died, and I got to a point where I had to do some research. In the middle of my stream, I said, I'm just gonna go pull up a YouTube video. I gotta get some confidence because I'm getting my butt kicked so much that I cannot figure it out brute force style. So I Google saying, how do I get a kill in Planetside 2? And somehow Moukass's video came up, and I was just like,
how did I get the kill? Why just one kill? How did I get
I'm getting so frustrated.
Everybody on Miller, of course, his video comes up.
I have never been, like, literally, if you don't mind me trying this out, like, I'm so salty. Like, the whole time, that's how I felt. And now I can see how it feels to be a new player, just coming in from so long ago. YouTube content is unbelievably important to watch. Being clear, concise in your videos, short and sweet, is all I can eat. And so having the ability right in the beginning saying, like, silencers are relevant now, saw point ammunition has been nerfed a little bit, but it's not a big deal, and understanding the formula behind it, but just with veterans explaining it, blew my mind. And Moukass did a good job on his content video with the silencer video, and I pulled an infiltrator up, and I played the infiltrator class, and I got a kill. I got my second kill. And then
you got a lot of kills, man. I saw your stream. You have
freaking out, Moukass. Like, when that one YouTube video translated into 3 kills right off the bat, I got off, I took off my shirt, I ran out of the room. I was flipping out. I was like, it's happening! I was like, this is so much fun. But it all required a damn YouTube video. That means the in-game tutorial is complete, and everything about the gameplay when you start playing Planetside is completely hard to learn. You cannot brute force yourself to play with that much data. You're literally a little peasant, or an ant, in this gigantic scale of a world. If you know that there's 3,000 meters above you where you can get pot-shotted by a Liberator, or you can drop with 12 men vigils from a galaxy, they have no clue about the UI, and just too much information at once. So YouTube
totally agree. This is why I think the squad leaders are very important, because if you start with a squad, you're gonna have a sense of guidance, and you're not gonna run into the terrible fights or terrible spawns sometimes people keep spawning and get farmed over and over. They click this auto join, and I watch this and I'm like hand palm, like face palm, because there is no guidance. This is why I think we should have leaders everywhere, like trying to, if you want to contribute to Planetside, choose squad lead. If you have experience, squad lead, squad lead, squad lead.
Right.
Then Dim
So
Giant,
one of
you are the leader of a big outfit, and you get so many new players joining the game. Do they find it hard to follow you around when you give orders, or do you think it's an easy thing to do once they got the guidance?
No, and there's a very specific reason for that. Like, I built the outfit based on the lowest common denominator possible. So I had no intention of ever actually getting really good at the game in any particular way. My whole focus in the outfit is to lead cats from point A to point B. And so, because I know exactly what Arshee's talking about, they're going to get overwhelmed by everything happening in the game. So my objective is to make it as simple and enjoyable an introduction to Planetside as possible.
Smart.
And normally, as much as I would rather have it be another way, keeping things really dumbed down and obvious and silly is one of the really good ways you can do that. And I've had about a dozen people now tell me that running with our squads and groups, despite our complete and obvious lack of skill, is the most fun they've had since 2013. So, but
yeah, just the fact that you're communicating in a squad makes people stay in. Like I noticed some squads on Emerald. I noticed on Emerald people chat much more because they all speak English. Like there's whole platoons that do nothing, just broadcast music and chill in vehicles. And this is their PlayStation on Saturday nights, because there is a funny squad leader giving orders and directions, even if these directions are weird, are not combat effective, you know. So yeah, just keep up the chat.
Yeah,
The chat is going
back to
insane.
something Nico said, he pointed out quite correctly that there's a concern that's going around among the old returning vets that certain problems haven't been fixed. So I study the Reddit meta for trends and patterns and social things and what have you about once or twice every week, so I can understand what the collective thought is. And that is one of the big concerns for a lot of people coming back to the game, is that, wow, this big airship looks really cool. The air game's going to come roaring back to life. But what about this problem I had with the game that's still here, that's been there since 2014? Like, is anything going to happen about that? And so that is a real concern going into the update, and I hope it does get addressed. I'm hopeful that it will, because Rogue Planet Games seems like a much tighter run ship than we've had before, and they clearly have dedicated a lot more resources to making Planetside 2 streamlined and more palatable. So we'll see what happens. You know, there's always a call to roll back the CIA update, especially, but I don't know if that's a realistic hope at this juncture.
I don't think Rel likes it when you say Common Arms Initiative anymore.
It's a sore subject, and I sympathize with his position. I sympathize with his position because it was from his perspective, I can see why he would have believed that would be better for the game overall. And he had to deal with all the fallout that came from that, of course, and that's not easy for anyone to deal with, and it's just too bad it played out the way it did. But, there's still time to patch things up. There's been a lot of feedback ever since then. And if we can take that constructively and make the game better at this point, I think that would be ideal, despite the things that have happened in the past.
Oh, lol.
Well, I'm also curious, Dim. Is your outfit planning to participate with the outfit wars coming up, or is that not something you want to do?
Oh, I definitely want to do it. The nice thing about having the outfit be constant for a year is that 12 of our guys out of the 3,000 have actually gotten kind of good at the game. so we do have a little bit of demand for that in the outfit finally, now that by virtue of sheer volume of gameplay and osmosis, some of our guys happen to be okay at firing a gun at somebody's head. So we will be participating in outfit wars. I'm not anticipating they'll go very well, but it'll be fun, and we'll see what happens, and maybe that'll make them even better too. But at this point, we have enough people that are longtime players and new players that we can make a division between the guys that want to do more of the competitive stuff and the people that I take care of mostly, which are the new players hopping in and getting them acclimated to the game.
Fair enough. Nice. For the guys that don't know what the Combined Arms Initiative is, CIA? No, what is it?
I
It's
don't know
actually
what it is.
CAI.
CAI. Okay.
No, Rel did
We're
not.
on the same boat right now. I'm like, the CIA is in freaking Planetside. Hold.
Yep.
Get out,
Yeah.
everyone.
It's out. Rel was responsible for
FBI,
Blackwater. Holy crap. MK Ultra. It was all him.
Oh God.
It was actually a rebalance of many of the armor aspects. So I think it's the airplanes
Yeah.
and the tanks and those things. Those are rebalanced, and that was called the Combined Arms Initiative update. And I think the community is pretty much split about it. If it's a good thing, it's a bad thing.
They are.
Because I think for the infantry players, it has been a good thing because, well, tanks are a lot less powerful. But for, people that like to tank, it's less fun,
Yes.
basically.
Honestly, I don't see all this fuss about CIA. CIS.
Yeah.
Like, it has
There's a lot of fuss
I
about
think,
the CIA. Believe me.
I think what it made is that it made
We need to be careful with that one.
It made it for vehicles a bit harder to farm infantry.
I was like, oh
A
no.
bit harder. It made vehicles farming tools for infantry. Like
Really?
there was a like a jumpy boy would just run at a tank, throw 2 C4 on it, and blow the tank up, and there was nothing a tank could do about it. The combination of C4 and obviously the new jump jets, what are they bloody called? The ones you use. It just ruined the bloody tank game. It just ruined it.
I think it's just some vehicle players that are missing the infantry farms.
No, it's nothing to do with that. It basically made it so that tanks were just like big chunks of metal that you couldn't get a kill on anymore. Because you remember there was a combination of the flak armor where you would shoot infantry in the face with a tank AP cannon and they wouldn't die because they had flak armor.
CAI gave him a chance to now get hit by 1 hit, or is it 2 hit?
See, so with Combined Arms Initiative and the stacking of the flak, because they didn't change it with CAI, you shot infantry with an AP shell, and they would just keep running at you because they wouldn't die. It was a combination of ambushers, C4, flak armor, the fact that obviously you couldn't shoot anything anymore. The same as AP, when you shot an ESF, would only take it to burning. It wouldn't actually kill it anymore. It was just crap. Like the whole update was just
CAI
terrible.
made it better, or we removed the CIA. Tell me right now.
Combined Arms Initiative ruined
Here, or
the
is it
vehicle
gone?
game. They've sort of reverted it, kind of.
Especially
It
with
took
the
over a
Liberators.
year.
The Liberators going back to being one-shot kills brought a lot of people back to the Liberator game, and that was really obvious when they rolled back that particular.
Like, Planetside is a frustrating game to play, but they just
Yeah.
made it 10 times worse. Like, everything was just a chore. You ended up spending more time repairing your tank
Would you guys-
than you did
would you guys
actually
be-
being in it and using it.
I almost feel like the idea behind the Bastion is going to change the entire style of the game to give people a chance to know where the weak points are on vehicles. And that's going to give probably an idea to the future weak points of vehicles, like a very small hitbox to shoot at on the back of a vehicle to like almost 2-shot and destroy a Vanguard or something like that. Very small little shiny object. And the same thing's going to happen probably for other vehicles out there. And you're noticing maybe the Liberator might actually get killed by Mossy finally by finding a way to come from underneath it and poking at it just at that one spot. Because a lot of vehicles are now upside down the whole time, shooting everything in sight. And I'm like, okay, if you can one-shot everything, then how do we take you down? We either bring like 4 vehicles for 3 people that is in a Liberator. It's like, where's the balance behind that? I think player versus player should be equal. It can't be like a lightning showing up one-shotting everyone. There should be a way a player can one-shot that lightning if you hit a specific weak point, or you're sitting there with a heavy assault shooting 400 rockets, and the guy's at auto repair and he's just running around farming everything. I know he's in a tank. I know you use resources, but logistically, there's always a weak point on every physical tank in the world.
So, obviously, the weak point in most tanks is the rear. So.
But it's like
I
only
understand
double damage. I'm talking about like a small little space, like the shiny thing that we have in the Bastion. That if you target that down, you can't repair it. It's gonna die. You can't repair that thing consistently. That means if he keeps getting in that shiny space, that thing is completely gone, including the repair.
The problem is that just adds to more frustration because if someone is able to pull that lucky shot off, then you've just got screwed by one lucky shot from someone. So
let me rephrase it. I meant to say like it's going to be the same as the Bastion. It takes time to take that thing down. Like it'll take like your 6 shots, and then it can't be repaired anymore. It's like a perma way of getting you out of the game, but you still can repair yourself, get the full HP, and take hits. But you're defending that very soft spot. Does that make sense?
Normally,
it's like
talking about big tanks, by the way, have you guys seen maybe the Colossus, the in-game tank on the PTS?
Yeah,
it's probably going to be one of the future war assets. Maybe nothing confirmed yet, but that might be the case with these bigger tanks, that they will have weak spots on like 10,000 HP as well, like the Bastion fleet carrier. That is NDA, is it? I don't know.
No, it's not NDA because it's in the. It's in one of the videos, isn't it?
One more time. What's in the video?
It's in a video, advertising video somewhere.
No, the Colossus, is it?
Yeah, I've watched it on the YouTube somewhere. I'm pretty sure. HP and
It's an old asset. It's an old asset, so that means it wasn't intended to be out there. No. And then
if you played Planetside Arena, actually, you could still see the rusty wrecks of the Colossus on the field.
Yeah. Yep. That's very cool.
But okay.
I had a lot of fun on that. Look at JR Croddick's like, you're okay, keep going.
Or okay.
Not banned yet.
Not banned yet. Oh man. There was a question, Faber, you gave to Moukass. What was that question again, if you don't mind repeating that to me?
It should be something like, what would be the Phase 2 update? What would be the next update after this Bastion fleet carrier, the war assets, the outfits?
Thank you. I have that. I wanted to add to that.
I think they should pimp the construction system, make it really part of the game. We have so much construction items, guys. I haven't checked them all. There is a huge list, and they're completely underused, and they could be huge amount of fun. Like just the ramps, they made very fun construction items. The ramps to do like big jump with harassers, but you can only build them like in 2% of the map. So just make the construction more integrated to the game. It's gonna increase the variety in the gameplay and increase the replayability of the maps. Right now, like the thing that's annoying me the most is the fact that the maps are getting old. Like Indar over and over, it starts to getting old. But when you actually fight in construction bases, it makes things fresh again. So this is why I think it's one of the important parts.
What do you guys think is going to happen now that we can just deploy orbital strikes from anywhere on the map to the construction gameplay? Is that a concern for anybody?
It's got a massive cooldown, I think.
Oh, it does? Oh, okay.
So, I think they're going to make sure you can't spam it, obviously, so it's not going to make things difficult. But with going back to the construction, I do think that it's a good way of taking content which is already in the game and making it easy to implement. But I know one of the big things that people were calling for when it first came out was implement it into existing bases. We don't want to build bases because it's frustrating, it takes ages, and then someone just comes along and then just wipes it all out and it all dies. Why don't you implement turrets and shields and stuff like that for defense points above existing bases, rather than then you can protect the points and stuff and build bigger walls, etc., rather than making bases that sometimes massive armor columns just go around. They just ignore them because they have mass health points and no one can be bothered to take them out. So if you actually force people to engage with them with existing bases and points, which is, I know they did try doing that with the new tech plant and the amp station and whatever they involved, but I don't think it really worked because they built obviously that on top of the actual base, so people just ran underneath it anyway. It didn't really actually change anything. So if you want to go down the construction route, look at implementing it into the game, into the existing bases, then that would make more sense than faffing around with what's said before. And then if they got templates where you can actually pads where you can actually build the stuff in, you don't have to keep faffing around with trying to turn it and fit it into the terrain and all that, because it never quite fits properly with all the zones that you can't build in as well.
Yeah, and the construction tools themselves are so unwieldy. Like the rotator that they use is so fast you can't actually be precise in building it.
Yeah.
You can slow that down if you press Alt, I think. So
Oh wait, really?
yeah.
What? a
Oh,
year.
we know.
A year of frustration. That's great to know. See, I never would have known. Never would have known. We need to enhance.
It's still a
that
very
tutorial
clunky system.
Yeah.
And I think what makes it really annoying is the fact that there is this no construction zones. Like it makes it really hard to make a decent base. It leaves very little of the terrain actually constructible.
Yeah, and it makes it harder to be relevant too, because sometimes you have to park your base so far away from where the fighting naturally goes down the line that you can't be.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Continue.
Honestly, I tried construction. Only I bought the orbital strike. I never got the patience to actually build it. I bought the routers. This is what I found the most useful as a construction item. I build the bases only to have a router in place. Apart from that, I don't have the patience for the rest. And I admire the people who build the bases and do this for hours and hours, and at the end maybe nothing happens there. I'm like, oh man. So yeah, I think this could pimp the game like crazy if we have this system more implemented.
Makes sense.
I mean-
Faber, what was that question again?
Actually, I think it would be a good time to we're
Switch
gonna do the
to
after party in a minute. Maybe it's a good question for you for your stream in a minute, because
No
we
problem. I
are
was
live
on
for
the-
about an hour right now, and
Sounds totally fine.
as you guys might know, we're also on Spotify and on YouTube as well. So if you missed a bit of the podcast, you can look at it on YouTube in about a week, and on Spotify also in about a week. But a question in a minute, I think a nice topic for everyone in the chat. Was something, what do you want to see in Planetside 2 in the future? What should be the next update? What should be main priority, basically? So, something to think about. But if you want to start your stream, Mr. Archie, I can host you in a minute. Feel free.
Sounds good, buddy. I'm going to go and start my stream up, and then at the same time, I want to tell everybody on DroPodcast, thanks for coming out and being super respectful. Moukass, it's been a pleasure seeing you and actually talking to you in voice for the first time. Dim Giant, you're looking freaking huge, man. I saw you stood up. That was freaking awesome, man. Pleasure always to see you. And actually, this is our first time me and Dim actually see each other face to face. Same with Faber One, guys. If you didn't get a chance to see, this guy dresses to impress, and everyone should actually recognize that. Thanks for bringing up Planetside 2 with the looks, casuals to professional level, and I had to represent that with you, man. I saw your podcast before, and I was like, holy crap, I gotta look good, and I gotta do my hair and all that stuff because of you, man. Thanks, man. And Nico, man, always a pleasure to have you back. I'm excited to see you back in Planetside 2020, man. You look beautiful, man, and we gotta look forward. I'm looking forward to seeing more of you. I'm gonna go head out. Thank you so much, Faber One, for hosting me here, and I hope to see more of you guys show up on Faber One's channel and give him the love. And DroPodcast Planetside 2 is booming. Great title, and we will see you guys on my channel where I'm going to host anybody who can stay on TLS rules respectful, and love to hear your voices and love to see your chat, and we'll answer as many questions you guys have. All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you, man. Love.
The guys stay here. Oh no, what happened? Oh god.
Oh my.
Anyway, well, we're gonna rate Mr. Archie in a minute, guys, so you can stay here. Do you guys have some closing thoughts, Mr. Dim Giant?
I'm really excited for the update. This team has a lot of synergy and energy I have personally never seen, despite I've only been here for a year, but I'm really excited to see what's coming. I hope they take some time to take care of the old bugs, and I think if they do, and we keep on churning out updates like this, we'll see a impressive revival in Planetside that has not been seen since before construction era days.
I also agree. Like when the game was released, 2012, most of the computers couldn't run it properly. Like it ran like crap on most computers. I used to play with 30 FPS. Now I think it became much more accessible to people. And it's very easy to just try it out for people, even if they just have heard of it, they can just install it and hop in. So it still has a chance, I think, to grow really good.
And final words, Mr. Nico 101.
Yeah, I'm not very like overly optimistic. I'm like, I want to be, but I'm just being very cautious with this update. I just hope, like I say, they address the core issues in the game, but before just keep smashing loads of content into it. And because at the end of the day, this is their one chance to be able to really revive the game. And if they bugger this up, then realistically, this is it. So, I think if we pin everything on this update and it keeps going, uphill from here, then great, we're going to get a load of people back and new people. But if it doesn't, then I don't know what else to say really. But I just got my fingers crossed. That's all.
I'm just curious, Nico, what is your plan for your content? Let me know that.
My plan for my content. Well, I was aiming at making some more funny moment videos because that's really what I used to do. I'm gonna get into streaming again, but probably not going to be doing much like Planetside streams. And if I do, I'm gonna concentrate on more smaller, like 2-3 hour streams than going mad like I did before. But see how things go at the minute. But I might do some more commentary videos and. Maybe put some more thoughts in there. I've got a couple of guides that I just want to finish off as well. But we'll see how it is. See how my time goes, and hopefully we can get some more stuff flowing, more salt flowing. So.
Any plans, by the way, Nico, of Moukass for like a new video?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna review the game finally after 4,000 hours, and more videos showcasing the epicness. Especially the big battles that are going on right now. It creates some moments that I haven't seen since years, honestly. Like freaking huge battles. The tank Zergs, Galaxy Zergs. We haven't seen that since a long time. So yeah, keep showing the epicness and the beauty of the game. That's my plan.
And Mr. Dim Giant, can we expect something from the Project Planetside team?
We have 4 different productions that are all going to be pilot episodes of series underway. So we have a lot of work that we've started, and there's a lot more work that we're going to do going forward. The end goal is to have once a week, at least 2 of those episodic series having an episode go up, and on a rotating schedule. So we are planning to be as consistent and regular as possible. I've been taking sound engineering classes to enhance the experience for everybody. And a lot of guys have been doing tons of research into their own expertises to also make the product better. So yeah, we have a lot of content coming your way. It'll be tentatively coming out a week after the update goes live. And then from there on out, we're in it till Planetside either makes a 3rd one or it's finished. We're going to stay here to the bitter end working on content for the game.
Okay. And I'm planning something for a forgotten part of the community. I don't know if any one of you owns a PlayStation 4. No. But
Not yet.
no.
Console.
We're men of culture here.
Yeah, I know. But
Who is this guy?
It's a part of the community I think that feels like forgotten. And to be fair, many people that actually start playing on the PS4 also they buy a PC, for example, to really experience the full experience of Planetside. So I think having a good PS4 experience helps the PC version as well. Maybe. We will see though.
Yeah, it's true. It's bringing some fresh blood, just fresh eyes on the game. It's true. But the game on PS4 looks so freaking laggy, and the frame rate. When I watch gameplay, I'm like, oh my god, how can they play on this? I feel bad.
It's been unfortunate. The developers have had to prioritize the PC because that's where the large swath of income was coming in from. And so the PS4 has had to be put on the shelf for a long time. But I think with the new team, they'll be seeing a lot more action update-wise going.
Yeah, PS4 has a huge audience. Like it's worth tapping into, of course.
It is definitely. Anyways, guys, I think we got a really nice show. Thank you again so much for being here, Arshee, Nico, and Mr. Dim Giant as well, and Mr. Moukass, of course. We will be back next week with some more content, so do follow if you need to. Otherwise, I will see you guys soon with some more stuff.